I feel like the more time I spend in this park, the more confused I get. Good day everyone, and welcome to Adventures with Parker. Today I'm here for the first time ever at Niagara Amusement Park. Now, if you don't recognize the name of this place, maybe you'll recognize its former name, Fantasy Island. But this is an interesting place because it's had quite a storied history just in the past few years. So like I said, it used to be Fantasy Island, but it did close, I think, over the pandemic. But then our theme park savior, Gene Staples, came in to save the day, and he reopened the park and has been trying to get it up and running and to a mostly a functional state over the past few years. But during that closure period, the park had experienced a lot of neglect, a lot of rides were removed, so it's been quite an effort to return this park to its former glory. But today, and the whole reason why I decided to come here, they are opening a brand new roller coaster. Well, not a brand new roller coaster, it's a used Galaxi ride. It was supposed to be open earlier this year, but they've had some issues getting it up and running. But just yesterday, they announced on their socials that they would be opening it up today. So since I'm not too far from this park, I mean, it's only a 2-hour drive for me, which is about the same distance that I drive to go to Canada's Wonderland. I decided, why not hop in the car, cross the border, and come check this place out. And I mean, this place has been on my radar for a while, so I am long overdue for a visit. And with the opening of the new coaster, I just figured there were no more excuses, and I just had to come and experience it. So without any further ado, let's explore this park and let the Niagara Amusement Adventures begin. So I'm standing in the parking lot of Niagara Amusement Park, and they just have track laying out just in the lot. Not just track, a bunch of other things. Like I can see some bits of scenery pieces, some steel structures. Yeah, this is so weird. And what I think we're looking at here is actually the track for Laser Loop, the Schwarzkopf shuttle coaster that was announced to be coming to the park but never built, and then some track showed up at Indiana Beach, but now we have track here, so who knows what's happening with that project. But lo and behold, whatever's happening, at least part of it's here. And then if we look over there, that purple track, I believe those are Larson Loop pieces. I could be wrong. If someone with a little more industry knowledge wants to correct me, go right ahead. But it's just so weird how this is in the lot and how I can go right up to it. Like nothing is stopping me from touching the track here. That is really cool though. The past few years have definitely been really rocky for this park, and I think the future is going to be kind of interesting. I mean, not much has happened since they reopened the park, except for obviously opening the new coaster today, which is the whole reason why we're here. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a place we need to keep our eyes on for the next few years. But for now, let's head on in and see what the current state of the park is like. So this front area of the park is actually kind of cute. They have a little candy shop. They have a little stall for coffee and bubble tea. There's this Western Town building. You know what? It's not bad. And I think these buildings were freshly painted. Like they look pretty good, all things considered. Okay, I think most of the attractions I want to experience are this way. So we're actually going to head into the Western Town. And I already did take a peek in here, but look, it's actually really well themed. There's a marshal's office, there's a restaurant called the Barbecue Barn, they have this restaurant called the Golden Nugget, or like a bar rather, I think that one's more of where you get actual food. There's a general store. Down at the end there, they have like a gold panning thing and some old stockades. Okay, so this is the inside of the marshal's office. So I guess it's just a little place where we can take a look and see a, what do you call it? A recreation of an old jailhouse. Yeah, this is really cool and quite unexpected. Like I didn't think a park like this would have this kind of theming. As minimal as it is kind of effective. And I think they also do like a cowboy show here as well. So the next one's at 2:30. It's about 12:30 now, so I'm gonna have to be sure to come back in a couple hours to see that because that sounds really cool. Oh my god. I am like 98% sure this is Revolution from Six Flags Great America. That's their old Husk Frisbee that they took out this year to replace with the newer Zamperla one, but it looks identical. It has to be the one from Six Flags Great America. This is so funny. Obviously the ride isn't open yet, but I mean, this is a pretty good throw ride to have in this park. I think it's going to be a great new addition, and it looks really nice in this center plaza here. So I think it was a smart move for the park to purchase this. So hopefully this opens without too many issues next year. And of course, the star attraction of the park is the Silver Comet, their big wooden coaster here. It goes all the way down around back behind these buildings. And I think we are going to make it my first ride of the day. So let's hop on and see what this ride is all about. I've heard good things, so I'm optimistic about this ride, but also a little bit scared. Alright, so I just survived the Silver Comet, which was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. But yeah, it had some decent moments of airtime. It had some really cool twists where you got some decent laterals. It kind of reminded me of a GCI. Like they were almost kind of going for that GCI twistiness, but not quite. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. It's a very weird ride, but it is fun and worth the admission all on its own. Obviously, this is a big marquee coaster here. This is the reason you come to Niagara Amusement, and I'm really glad that they were able to preserve it because there was a lot of concern when the old Fantasy Island closed that this coaster would be taken down. But no, it's still standing, still going strong, and I'm glad that I was able to get this credit finally. So I'm pretty sad about this ride being closed, but this is their dark ride, like one of their old school, quirky dark rides. I don't know if it's a Bill Tracy creation, but it's very much of that style. I forget the name of it. I think it's Devil's Den or something like that. I gotta look that up. But I mean, the facade here looks amazing. Like, look at that windmill, all the graphics along the walls, all the little figurines. When this opens, I got to come back to do it because, as you guys know, I am a huge dark ride fan, and I think this would be a fun one. Another ride that appears to be a work in progress that we won't be riding today is this Music Express ride themed to caterpillars, or inchworms. I don't know what they're supposed to be. I don't know my bugs that well. I'm a bird person. But it looks super cute, really well themed. Yeah. This is definitely a weird park to be in, just with so many rides being closed or under construction or whatever. Like, I knew what I signed up for, but I don't think I realized it would be this bad. And again, I believe the park is working on it slowly but surely. So next year or within a few years, I'm sure this park will be so much better and that the rides we're seeing now will be open and thriving. But today, it's just weird. But here we are, the main event of the day, the reason why I bothered to come in the first place, Serpent, their new / repurposed Galaxy roller coaster. Alright, just came off of Serpent, which was a very interesting ride. It is fun. I do like these old school Galaxy rides. They are very janky, but in the best way. Obviously, you're not going to be feeling anything too intense on these rides. They are considered family coasters, but I mean, this Helix here, you get pushed into your seat on that final spiral, so that was definitely a highlight of the ride. Other than that, it's here and it's cool, and I'm really happy that the park was able to open it. The ride only runs with one train, and it's really funny because you unload on the on this end of the station, but then once you get off, the ride-offs actually have to manually push you forwards to the front where you actually load. So that was interesting. I know being a single rider today had its advantages because I got to skip a bit of the line because they needed an extra person to make the wait work. So yeah, there you have it. That's my little +1, +2 credit run for the day. I'm gonna stick around and explore a little more of the park while I'm here, but I did what I came to accomplish. Now I will say operations at this park so far, at least on Comet and Serpent, have been very slow. Mind you, both coasters are running one train, which on Comet isn't that big of an issue. Here on Serpent, I mean, today's not very crowded at all, but I can see in the future on a hot, busy day in the middle of July, like on a Saturday or something, this line is going to get really crazy. So I hope they're able to source another train, a second train for this coaster. I guess time will tell how that all pans out. Okay, there's a little path going over here, and I see people over there, but I don't know if there's an actual running attraction, unless there's a train over there. I have no idea. This park confuses me. What is up with these random gazebos, shaped pavilions? I don't know, they look like there must have been a ride under there at some point. And then you just have the random train station here. Okay, so there is a train over there, except the station isn't on this side of the park. It's over here on the other side of the tracks in what looks like a campground. So I don't know what the deal with this train is. I'm so confused. I feel like the more time I spend in this park, the more confused I get. On the bright side, I did find myself a nice, quiet little pathway that goes by this little creek here, and it's really quiet and really pretty and really serene. So this just adds on to my confusion because this is nothing like the rest of the park. That path actually led me over here to this kids area, and I don't want to film too much because I don't want to get anyone in the shot who does not want to be filmed. But we have this Zamperla drop tower here. This actually looks pretty new. And then we have some old school kiddie rides. I am not entirely sure what I'm looking at here, but I guess you can go into this fish's mouth? What is this supposed to be? Can I open this? Nope, it's locked. I'm so confused by this. And on the other side of the path, we have this for some reason. All right, so I've taken a few laps around the park already, but I think what I'm gonna do now is head back over to Silver Comet and just marathon that until the Western show starts. That's again at 2:30 and we're at 1:45 now, so I probably have time for at least 1 or 2 rides on Silver Comet before I have to come back here to the Western Town. All right, so I got about 5 rides on Silver Comet there, so 6 rides in total today. And I am loving this coaster more and more. This is definitely a back row ride, especially because even though it uses the typical PTC wooden coaster restraints, they don't really ratchet as tight as some other coaster trains typically do. So it sits kind of high on me. So it's more of a buzz bar restraint than anything. It's kind of freaky, to be honest. First of all, I was a little nervous on my first ride, but once I got used to it, I loved it. It's so fun. You got quite a bit of airtime, especially on the first half. And like I was saying, those twists give you some really good laterals. So overall, like I said earlier, Silver Comet is worth the trip all on its own.
You are now traveling backwards through time, back to the time of the Old West.
Did you see the look on the dealer's face when you turned over that car?
I thought he was gonna kill over. He was so shocked. Little did he know the car was up your sleeve the entire time.
Well, if it isn't the Apex game. What's this I hear about you cheating at cars?
What's it to you, Holiday?
I live by the green tables, boy. You cheating is an insult to my very livelihood. Deputy Calamity Jane, what are you going on about?
Oh, hi, Doc. Sorry you had to see that. I'm a seem insane. Do I seem insane?
That remains to be seen. What are you going on about?
Oh, I'm just practicing my card slinging skills.
Oh, and what has motivated you to do that?
Come on, Doc. Every lawman from here to Dodge knows a way around a deck of cards. Well, everyone except me.
Why does that matter, Jane?
Because these people need to respect me, but all that flies out the window once they know they can play me at house and home.
Oh, so you figure you become the best card player around by...
Mastering the hardest game there is.
Go fish.
Go fish.
Uh-huh.
I want you out of my town now. Or else what, Calamity? I'll have to place you under arrest, Belle.
Not gonna happen, Deputy. All right, everybody calm down. Don't go reaching for
Use
those
your
irons.
hands, Deputy.
Pull them away! Bell!
Quick! Right, we'll be back here, Bill. I'm running.
Shoot! Belle, sorry, you're under arrest. Don't let this happen, Doc. What is she talking about?
Don't worry about that, Jane. Bell's here knows she's gonna ruin everything.
1, 2, 3. Deputy Calamity Jane, get on out here.
Welcome back, Nat. What can I do for you?
We want Belle back and the money.
Okay, that's fair.
Really?
No, now get to stepping before you join her in prison.
I'm troops for the skies, Deputy.
What do you three think you're doing? Holding up an officer of law all over a silly game of of cards.
You know, it's a lot more than that, Holiday.
Playing a few card games together doesn't make us family, Stillwell.
Then I guess we'll have no problem putting you down.
Likewise, Belle.
Kill them all.
So that was a fun little show. I'm glad I took some time to watch that. It only took about 10 minutes, so it's not too much time out of your day. The action sequences were definitely a highlight. There were some slower parts to the show, but you know, the actual shootout part of it was pretty fun. Now, I would recommend sitting on the other side of the Western Town, so not right outside of the Golden Nugget Saloon where I was, but on the other side on where the barbecue and the marshal's office is. I think you get a better view over there, especially because one of the guys went on top of the roof at one point and I completely missed that segment of the show because, you know, it's all happening behind and above me. But yeah, other than that, not bad. I just did one more ride on Serpent, and I think that's it for me for today. I mean, this park, although I'm glad I came, is so janky and so sad. And I mean, I get it, it's a work in progress, and I know that for all the rides that we see closed today, that they are working on them and that there are plans to have them open for next season. But as of today, August 27, 2024, this is not a park I would recommend visiting. There's just not a whole lot to do, unless you're a big thuzy like myself. Like if you want to come here for your Silver Comet and Serpent 1-2 credit run, by all means, go ahead. But if you're just a regular person looking to experience a day at a theme park, there are so many better options in the area that I would recommend over this one. For now, again, I think we're going to see a big transformation in this park over the next couple of years. I know all of these little rides are going to be open soon, and I can see a lot of spaces where new additions can go in as well. Of course, we also have Laser Loop on the horizon, which I think is still happening. I know there's a bit of question as to whether that project was canceled or not, but what I think happened is that the track pieces were sent to Indiana Beach to be worked on maybe over there at their workshops. But now that we're seeing them in the parking lot again, I think that ride is still happening and it's still going to be erected. As to when it's going to be open, I have no idea. Fingers crossed it'll be next season, but you know, even if it's a couple years down the road, that's okay. I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. But yeah, I think the other thing this park has to work on, in addition to the quantity of rides, is just sprucing up a few of the areas. Like the front of the park, where the Western Town is great. The kiddie area with some of the fantasy elements, weird, but kind of cool, I guess. But then when you get to the back towards Serpent, it's just open asphalt and it's hot and there's not a lot of shade and there's a lot of abandoned structures all over the place. It's just very weird and it feels like, you know, like you're not supposed to be there, but obviously the park's open, it's fine, but yeah. But again, I see the vision. I know in a few years this park is going to be in a much better place than it is now. So I don't know, it's kind of this weird place between whether you should hold off on visiting until all of those transformations are complete, or whether you should go now to support the park and ensure that it can thrive and do what they plan on doing. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's up to you. How big of a thuzy you are is really what it comes down to. But at the end of the day, I am happy that I came. I had fun in my own little way. Doing a coaster on the first day of operation, that's kind of special. I'm not really one to participate in first culture. Like I don't need to be the first person to do something, but it just worked out that I had the day off today. The ride was open. It's not too far away from me. So, you know, why not come here? Why not check this place out? So definitely looking forward to future visits when things are better. But as for today, it was all right. And that is going to do it for my first ever visit to Niagara Amusement Park. I do want to give a quick shout out to Venus Greek and Mediterranean, which is a local restaurant that I stopped at on my way home, just located outside of the park on Grand Island. There's a few little local restaurants there if you're looking for something outside of the park, but I got their chicken shawarma and it was super good, so I just wanted to give them a quick shout out and let you guys know that that is a very good option for food. From here, I decided that since I was making the trip all the way out to Niagara, I should stop in at Clifton Hill on the way home. And I've done a few of the Clifton Hill attractions before, but I definitely haven't done everything yet. And one of the things that I've really been wanting to do for a long time is Franken coaster, which is the little kitty coaster on top of the Burger Kings. So yeah, I finally made that happen, and you can find out more about that experience in part 2, which I'm hoping to have done in sometime later this week. So yeah, be on the lookout for that coming soon, and if you don't want to miss that or any of my other adventures from theme parks, attractions, and beyond, you might want to consider becoming a subscriber. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at ADVParker, and on Facebook and TikTok at Adventures with Parker. As always, big shout out to my Patreon supporters for always going above and beyond in supporting this channel. And if you are also interested in supporting the channel with a monthly donation in exchange for some sweet perks and bonus content, head on over to patreon.com/ADVParker to learn more. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, the adventures are calling. Bye! Yeah, if no one's heard from me for a few days, maybe send help to Niagara Amusement Park, because what else was I gonna say?